Welcome back. Montgomery County's Office of Consumer Protection partners with federal, state, and local consumer agencies and advocacy groups. One is the Consumer Protection Division of the Maryland Attorney General's Office. We recently took a field trip there.
It's our ticket out of Rockville. Baltimore, here we come. Gotta get some old man music on. Got some Beatle tunes. You know, there's a Beatles song I thought would be a good theme song. You know the song goes, we can work it out.
We can work it out. We can work it out.
That would be a good theme song too. Help, I need the Consumer Protection Office. I need someone at Consumer Protection now. Okay, well we're gonna see the chief of the Division of Consumer Protection in the Maryland Attorney General's Office. This is our sister agency. They have statewide jurisdiction. They enforce the consumer protection law very similar to our statute, but applies statewide. And we work hand in hand with them. And for people who live in counties that don't have a local consumer protection office, which is basically everywhere except Montgomery County and Howard County, they would need to file a complaint with the state agency. And they're within the Attorney General's office. So. Here we are in Baltimore. Yeah, how many levels are in this building? You know, this is one of those garages where they kind of like need a rest stop in the middle of the garage. Get a little dizzy. Hey, Bill. Bill does have some work to do here. All right, Bill, well, thank you for giving us a good excuse to get out of Rockville and visit our sister agency in Baltimore. Can you tell us a little bit about the Division of Consumer Protection within the Maryland Attorney General's Office?
The Consumer Protection Division is composed of a number of different units. The unit that most people have contact with is our mediation unit. It handles complaints from consumers about general consumer goods or services. Another public response unit is our Health Education Advocacy Unit. It handles health-related complaints, durable medical equipment, billing complaints, and it also helps people who have been denied by their insurance company for coverage. It helps them go through an internal grievance process with the insurance company, and then will help forward appeals to the Maryland Insurance Administration when it's not preempted, when it's covered by Maryland law. We have an identity theft unit that helps people with identity theft issues. We have 2 registration units. One is a home builder registration unit that registers home builders and then handles complaints related to home builders and takes action against home builders who violate the law. And we also have a health club registration unit. It registers health clubs and similarly helps people with complaints with health clubs and takes action against health clubs that violate the law. We have an arbitration unit and we have an enforcement unit that enforces the Consumer Protection Act and related statutes.
Well, I know only 2 counties in the state of Maryland have local consumer protection offices. So all the other people in other counties, how do they contact your office?
They can either call us or they can contact us on the internet.
Do you still have any satellite offices in the state, or?
Yes, we have 2 branch offices. One is in Hagerstown for Western Maryland, and the other is on the Eastern Shore in Salisbury. And then we have some satellites that an office in Southern Maryland, an office in Cumberland, and an office in Frederick. But those satellite offices are not staffed all the time. The Hagerstown office and the Salisbury office are staffed all the time, and we will be opening by this fall an office in Prince George's County that will be staffed all the time.
Now, I know your office has a mediation program, and I think you rely upon some volunteers to help you with that program. Can you tell us a little bit more about your mediation program?
Yes, our mediation is done by a cadre of volunteers. Some are volunteers who may be retired. We also use student interns. The complaint comes in and will be on a day-to-day basis. The mediation is done by volunteers who will contact the business, find out what the consumer wants, contact the business, and try to work out something that's acceptable to both the consumer and the business. The volunteers are overseen by a small staff of mediation unit supervisors.
The Federal Trade Commission says identity theft is a #1 problem in the country. I assume it's a pretty big problem in Maryland. Do you see a lot of that in your office as well?
Yeah, we do see a number of complaints about identity theft. Our identity theft unit does a number of things. One thing that probably most people have contact with is a data breach notice. When there's a data breach, and we've heard about a lot of data breaches, a lot have been in the news, the company is required to provide notice to the Attorney General's office, and we post those notices online. When people are victims of identity theft or want help believing that they might have been a victim of identity theft, they can call our identity theft unit, and they will help work the person through. There are a lot of things that people have to do. It's a real pain when people are victimized like that.
Right. Yeah, it's terrible. As we've heard, it's not really a matter of if you're going to be the victim of identity theft. It's really more of a matter of when is it going to happen to you, that it's so prevalent.
Well, the information is widespread. I mean, the theft of credit card numbers, Target alone was tens of millions of people. Probably and that's a problem when you have charges that appear on your charge card. But worse than that is if your Social Security number is taken, if they have your Social Security number and birth date, they can establish all sorts of accounts in your name, and that is an incredible headache.
Right. Now, I know in Montgomery County, being close to the consumers, we're able to do some things that your office is not necessarily able to do. But then when it comes to multi-state settlements, that's something that we really rely upon the State Attorney General's office in your division to handle. Is that something that we see every year, different types of multi-state settlements?
Oh, we'll have multiple multi-state settlements every year. One that we did earlier this month, we were on an executive committee, which was part of a leadership in a case with GlaxoSmithKline involving some drugs. The primary drug was Advair. It's an asthma drug. They were selling it for purposes for which it had not been approved, and for which the states alleged it didn't work. The states got together and entered into a settlement with GlaxoSmithKline, under which they agreed not to market it in that way and to make a payment.
Okay. What about the area of immigrant protection? I know we've got a changing demographics in the state, in Montgomery County. A lot of people that speak different languages and coming from different countries. Is your office able to help and provide information to that community as well?
Yes, we have information designed for immigrants, but we also look for cases where one of the problems that we face with the immigrant community is we're less likely to get complaints.
Right.
It's a vulnerable population, and we try to ensure that all vulnerable populations are protected from people who prey upon them. One scam that specifically targets the immigrant population is a notarious fraud. We had a case last year that we brought against notarios who represented that they could help people with immigration. They were not attorneys. They were not qualified to help people with immigration problems. Immigrants should avoid people who represent themselves to be notarios. They should go to legitimate agencies that provide assistance.
Well, I know another vulnerable group of consumers in Montgomery County and throughout the state are our seniors.
Yes, we have some publications that are specifically aimed at seniors. We have a consumer guide for seniors. We also have a nursing home booklet. We do outreach to seniors groups, send people out to senior centers and the like. And then there are some cases that where seniors are specifically targeted.
Well, I know the attorneys on your staff are seasoned experts in consumer protection, and our office has been around for over 40 years.
One of the nice things about having Montgomery County office is we're able to learn about things from your office, and there are 2 cases that we currently have pending that came from your office. The more boots on the ground that you have, the better off the protection will be, and it would be nice if everyone could have offices like yours.
We greatly appreciate the expertise of your staff, and I think the hardest problem for us is going to be figuring out a way to get out of the garage to get back to Rockville and back to work.